How do I see the majority of the so-called religious people? Well, that was a question asked quite a while ago, but well, I prefer not to answer it. But one thing I can say in short is that the only way I can see many of the religious people nowadays is like some broken children. Yes? The way you see them poking at one another, making fun of the other people's beliefs, and this and that only gives me the impression that they are nothing else but children who were never allowed to evolve mentally, psychologically, and especially emotionally. Their physical bodies have grown older, obviously, especially because of all the unnecessary information that they're carrying around, like their ancestors, uh, you know, misfortunes, unhappiness, and things like that. And it's like their only joy is to simply shit on something that is not theirs and thinking that there is no repercussion. See, the repercussion will always be your misery. Whether others will act violently in a certain way or another, that simply does not matter. The only repercussion to most ignorance and child's play like this is going to be suffering one way or another. Not because some god craves that or demands it. Yes, it is simply because how you invest your energy is what you will receive more or less. If you invest your energies into imposing things, misery on others, and making fun of their beliefs, you know, that only shows you're not necessarily emotionally mature. Yes, it shows you're not mentally and or emotionally mature. Because in the end, when it comes to these religions, you're all servicing something which doesn't suit you. You're servicing a set of beliefs that, first of all, don't demand any proof of their existence, of their veridicity, but at the same time, they do not allow you to experience the entirety of creation by yourself. You need someone else, apparently, to connect you to that. Yes? And you're trying to poke at the other people's beliefs, hoping, you're doing it in such a way, it's like you're hoping to revolutionize the whole world. Yes? Through this so-called justice that you're thinking you're doing, if you're poking at the other's beliefs. This is nothing else but your ancestral problems trying to solve themselves through you. Each generation is chosen to be the ones who solve all the problems of the previous generations. But if you choose to simply invest into that even more, you're gonna give it to your children, and they will have to suffer the same fate as you, except slightly worse. So you're not revolutionizing the world by shitting on other people's beliefs. You're only revolutionizing your own misery. Yes? So when it comes to religions, all I see in the world mostly is zombie religions. People just carrying on with their so-called chores, but they don't question anything, they don't doubt anything anymore. They just do it because their parents did it, their ancestors did it, and that's it. You will see them clinging to those things like their life depends on it. It's like people cannot see that it is the end of those beliefs. Yes, those beliefs are burning, hence why all the people obsessed with it will cling to it even more. Those are the kinds of people who, even if the house is burning, it is still their comfort, so they will not leave it. Yes, and changes will come. Yes, there will be changes that will come. We've been speaking about those in previous videos, but the very simple point is people with these beliefs of theirs are just nothing else but children. Children who design their own worlds, become accustomed and then comfortable with, and obviously they will fight for that. Why do you think the modern, so-called modern schooling system has been designed the way it has been designed? Yes, it was designed as a dark version of this childish mindset. What does the schooling system teach you? Yes, it does not teach you anything. It gives you some information and expects you to remember it until you no longer need it. But in the end, it only teaches you how to be submissive. It teaches you how to bark for the old world's beliefs. Yes? And the mass teaching that is going on in schooling systems and the such is flawed because it teaches people what some agendas want. And once those pieces of information are no longer relevant, they will be simply changed. They usually are changed from one generation to another. because you are never allowed to know the history of your ancestors, only what some people want you to know. In the end, in any sick society, you end up barking for the sick society's necessities. Yes? If some people want you to view them in a certain way, they will simply shape your entire reality to try to portray them as being like that. Yes? And religion, unfortunately, also ends up in this case. In the worst case scenario, everything becomes communism. It is the lowest form of consciousness. Yes? The form of the parasite, where everyone wants everyone else to function the same way as they do. Yes? The ultimate parasiting experience, let's say, the ultimate parasite consciousness. When you look at religions from a certain standpoint, they are communism as well. Yes? They are something that want you all to function the same and do the same things. When you are living in such an environment, you live in a prison. Yes? And that is the unfortunate state of affairs. When things like this go for so long, honestly and obviously, they will simply burn. They will simply wither. People will lose interest. They will try the other beliefs, thinking that the grass is greener in there, but they will get tired of those as well. And some of those who have tracked into another belief system will probably want to get back to the comfort of their own. Yes, believe me, these beliefs of the current world are simply being burnt away because the consciousness that we live in is simply sick of those. You have to understand consciousness is a force, not a machine that you are making use of without any repercussion. That is why you have mental fatigues. That is why you no longer feel the celebrations that used to make your heart pound as a child. You no longer feel them as relevant. They no longer make much sense. We can ask Christians about that. Christmas and Easter are no longer what they used to be, and probably most likely for the other two beliefs as well. So hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness. You are appreciated, take care, enjoy life. This being said, Ferenc Board signing out.